All right, so this is going to be lab 7-6. So I'll share my screen. I have Excel open in the UARC server. We can go ahead and load our data. So we'll go to Power Pivot, Manage, and then get external data from database from SQL Server. We'll type in our server name. And then our database. Next, we want to write a query. And then I'll go ahead and type in the code given by the textbook. Okay, so that should work. It's validate. Yep. So it says it's valid. So we can go ahead and finish. And then it'll load. It'll take a second because it's a lot. Perfect. So we want 298,516 rows. So now we'll click close. And there it is here. So now we're going to select Tran date column. And then we'll go to design, date table, new. So now we have our date table. Now we can create a pivot table. So we'll go to home, pivot table, new worksheet. Okay. Okay, so now we have our pivot table. And here are our fields. Now we can go to Power Pivot and we'll go ahead and create our new measures. The first one will be current year, and then the formula will be sum amount. Close the parentheses, general. Okay. Okay, so now we have our current year. We'll do another measure. This one will be last year. And that formula will be a little different. It'll be calculate sum amount, close the parentheses, same period last year. We'll do this calendar date. We'll close it. Let's check our form. Ooh, looks like it's incomplete. Let's see what we're missing. Let's see. Okay, maybe it needs another parentheses. Perfect. All right, so now we have current year and last year. So now we can go ahead and create our KPI, new KPI. Our base will be current year and our measure will be last year. The threshold will be 102% and then 98%. Make sure this icon is selected, hit OK. All right, so now we have our first KPI. So now we'll go ahead and drag data hierarchy into rows. All right. And then we can go ahead and drag this out because we don't need it. And then let's check status to create those colors. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and create a new measure. And this is going to be for current month. And that formula is just sum amount, close, general, okay. All right, so now we have our current month. And now we'll create another measure. That will be previous month. So basically we're just doing the same thing that we did for the year, but we're doing it for months. So then the formula will be that calculate sum amount, close, comma. Previous month, calendar date, close, close. Okay, no errors, general, okay. Okay, so now we have our current and previous month as well as our current and previous year. So now let's create that KPI. KPI, new KPI. Our base field will be current month. This will be previous month. Threshold will be the same, 102% and 98%, and then we'll want to select this icon. Okay. All right, so now we can go ahead and make it look like the years. So we'll remove we don't need status. And then we'll check status here. Okay, so now we have the colors that we want. So now we can go ahead and insert our slicer. So we'll go to Analyze, Insert Slicer. And then what we want to check, State and Store. All right, so now we have state and store slicers. So now we'll go back to Power Pivot and manage. We'll go to diagram view. All right, so now we have it in diagram view. So what we want to do is select both state and store, right click, create hierarchy. Okay, and then we want to rename the hierarchy to store and state hierarchy. Okay, enter. Okay, so now we've created our hierarchy. And I believe we can just close back to Excel and it should have populated. There's okay, so there it is. So now we can drag in our new hierarchy to rows above date. All right, so now as we see over here, we have each state as well as current previous year and then current previous month. Then we have the status shown in our colored circles. And then you can also expand these. If you want to see 2014, you can expand 2014. So it's just an easier way to see all of the data. And then if you want to go to Texas specifically, there's Texas, and then we can see all 3 years for state. So yeah, that concludes lab 7-6. And that is just more about creating KPIs using data loaded by Power Pivot. I'll go ahead and stop sharing. And thank you very much.